What's the story, everyone? Welcome back to GAA Fan TV. It was East Kerry, 13 points. Kenmare Shamrocks, 1-7. And this is the instant match reaction here on GAA Fan TV. As always, looking at all the big club games from the weekend, breaking them down in a quick instant match reaction video. So if you're new to the channel, hit the like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. And for existing subscribers, if you could smash the like button, leave your comments live or even after the video. Let me know your thoughts on the game. Yeah, what a cracking game. Well, actually, it wasn't a cracking game. It wasn't a cracking game at all. It wasn't a great game, to be honest. You know, like, it was fairly, the quality really wasn't there. You could see that in the first half. It was very low scoring. I mean, it was enthralling, it was intriguing, and it was exciting to watch because you were seeing, you know, two of the best forwards in the country, and David Clifford with East Kerry and Sean O'Shea with Kenmare Shamrocks. Both hit wides at different points in the game, but certainly both scored some absolute cracking points as well. But the quality certainly wasn't there. And I think it was probably largely due to conditions. You know, conditions are fairly awful where I'm based here in Dublin. And from looking on the TV, they looked fairly awful in Kerry. I'm watching the game currently in Tyrone at the moment between Errigal, Kieran and Dungannon. I will have a reaction out after that game a little bit later on today. But yeah, conditions were awful. So conditions are very much awful all across the country. But there was a lot of wides in the first half. Kenmare Shamrocks hit 7 wides in the first half. They get that early goal from Paul O'Connor from the penalty. You know, completely cut through East Kerry. East Kerry, I thought, defended really, really well for the vast majority of the game. You know, I thought they done very well. Chris O'Donoghue looked very good in there, a fullback, but generally, or sort of in these opening few minutes, they were just cut to pieces. And obviously they give away the penalty. Very well put away by Paul O'Connor. But Kenmare struggled. Like, they were trying to play that running game. They were trying to run through the middle. They were getting the ball into Stephen O'Brien, who kicked a wonderful point at one stage in the first half, but probably didn't get on enough ball, to be honest. And even in the second half, their running game really started to slow down, and they were overrunning the ball, over carrying the ball at times, you know, just forcing themselves into errors that they didn't really need to do. And, you know, I think that's a problem a lot of the time when you do play this running game is, you know, like, if it's not working, you need to mix it up. And, you know, for Kenmare, I felt like maybe they start needing to go a bit more direct into Paul O'Connor, which they were doing in the first half, in the early parts of the first half. But they seemed to abandon that as soon as East Kerry started to get more of a grip on the game. And yeah, like, first half just not really there. Like, you know, a lot of unforced errors, poor passes, silly wides. Quality wasn't as good as what we maybe would have expected, given some of the players that were on show for both teams. But again, conditions probably played a big part of that. Kenmare Shamrocks led for the majority of the first half, you know, just by the odd point here and there. East Kerry stuck with Kenmare Shamrocks, though, to be fair. David Clifford obviously getting himself a couple of points. Dara Roach, I thought, was very impressive as well. He got some brilliant scores, some of them from place balls. You know, Paddy Clifford doing his usual work that we see him do with the Kerry team, which is really sort of supporting attacks, setting up men around him. And he got himself on the score sheet in this game as well, to be fair to him. Second half, you know, it was really about the quality really for East Kerry really shone through. And I thought there was a lot of, you know, maybe soft frees given East Kerry's way at times. I think given both ways, I think the referee maybe could have let the game flow a little bit more. You know, given the conditions, there was men sliding and slipping all over the place. It was like Bambi on ice watching that game at different times. And due to the conditions, you know, maybe one or two players slipping rather than being fouled as such. And maybe the referee there could have just let it flow a little bit more, in my opinion. But, you know, David Clifford at times from frees, on, you know, scoring from play as well. He was outstanding. He finished with 7 points in total. That probably being the big difference. And yeah, Kenmare Shamrocks just really struggled to create chances. I mean, Sean O'Shea hit 5 points in total, one of which was from play. But they couldn't really get their forwards into the game. You know, Stephen O'Brien not really involved in the second half from what I remember. You know, Paul O'Connor a good, from I don't know too much about him, but it looks like a very good sort of inside full forward that you can loop the ball into. But they weren't really getting the ball into him. They were trying to run it through the middle, and being turned over time and time again, really, from that East Kerry midfield, who done a great job, to be fair. And in the end, going down the home stretch, East Kerry have a 3-point lead. Kenmare Shamrocks did end up hitting the post from a late chance. Sean O'Shea involved once again, and it could have went to extra time. Who knows, maybe after that. I think East Kerry did have a grip on the game, though, if I'm being perfectly honest. So even if it did go to extra time, I think East Kerry would have had enough, if I'm being honest, to come through. But in the end, they just about squeeze over the line. And, I think at this stage of the championship, in the Kerry Club Championship, in conditions like that, against a fairly good team in Kenmare as well, to be fair, I think just getting over the line, getting that win is what matters. I'm sure they'll want to improve a little bit more in terms of creating more opportunities. I felt like maybe they didn't create enough, East Kerry, but then again, they've done enough to win the game, and I think that's the most important thing. Just running through the scores in total then. David Clifford with 7 points, Dara Roach with 4, Ronan Buckley and Paddy Clifford both with a point there for East Kerry as well. And then for Kenmare Shamrocks, you had Paul O'Connor with a goal, Sean O'Shea with 5 points, Stephen O'Brien with a point, and there was another point in there that I missed, unfortunately. So apologies for that. But yeah, very, very well grinded out win, you could say, from East Kerry, and they progress into the semi-finals. Ben says, do you think there is too many teams in East Kerry, and should it be split? I don't really know. I haven't watched enough of the Kerry County Championship to give a sort of proper answer to that question. If I'm being honest, probably only Kerry fans can answer that. What I would say is East Kerry won the championship in 2019 and 2020. And when they won it in 2019, from what I remember, it was the first time they won it in 20 odd years. So, it's not like they're winning it 5-6 times in a row and they're absolutely dominating. So and I think that's the way the Kerry Club Championship scene is. You have your regular club championship, you have your county championship for divisional sides to get every player involved. Some people think it's a good system. Some people don't think it is. I've no problem with it personally, as long as it doesn't prevent a club from progressing into the Munster Club Championship, which I think, can maybe be of downfall to the development of some players, I think, personally. But I know it's Temple no, and Cairns O'Rahilly's in the other Kerry Club final, which hasn't happened yet. Winner of that goes into the club championship. So to be honest, I don't really think you do change that. But maybe Kerry fans can let me know in the comments down below. We'll go ahead and wrap this up here. Do smash the like button and subscribe. I am currently watching the Tyrone Senior Football Championship, Errigal, Kieran and Dungannon. Cracking game so far. So we'll be doing a reaction out after that. Currently half-time there, so we'll be live in about half an hour. So yeah, cheers anyone who tuned in. Subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you all later.